Good day and Sikanuma to my Swahili brothers. How y'all doing today? And we're
Good.
welcome to the Brothers Crossing. We're here with Cub and Nando, bringing you another episode of Brothers Crossing. Hope we're going to make it a good day. And if not, we'll at least give you some information, old school style. What's going on, gentlemen? How's your week, your weekends? What's happening?
It's good. I was off for a couple weeks, relaxed, got to play some golf with family, went up to the mountains, had a good time, and now
Yeah.
it's back to work.
Nando, what's up with you? What you been doing?
Nothing at all. Just sitting here, just relaxing. No, I went to the Dodger game last week when they beat the Reds. So when they clinched
Yeah, okay.
and beat the Reds, I was at that game, which was exciting. And the possibility of the Brewers playing the Dodgers, I'm really excited tomorrow. So yes, we're talking about sports.
Yes.
That's okay. You know, a memory came up on my Facebook page, and it was when we went to the Brewers and the Rockies. And that was 2017 or 18. I'd have to look it up. And the Rockies just got spanked, man. It was like pitch, home run.
Oh, yeah. I
pitch,
remember that
home run.
playoff game. That's right. That's a playoff game.
God.
But yeah, so I think the Brewers and the Dodgers on a collision course. Let's hope it happens. That'll be great for Milwaukee. Thing I was doing is I actually played golf with Cub this weekend. And I didn't hit any houses. Everybody was safe. It was good. And then and the thing I want to throw out at you guys before we get into our topic today, what's up with Mark Sanchez? What was that about?
Oh my God, dude.
Did you read about that?
Now he has the most serious charges thrown at him. He's looking at up to 6 years in prison.
He should.
Over a parking lot dispute.
And it was with a truck. Like a truck driver backing up into the delivery.
He's like, picking up the garbage and stuff, and all this started. But did you see the pictures of the old man in the hospital?
No.
He's got a giant gash wide open down his cheek here. He's deformed permanently. He's going to have a massive scar. So he's already filed a lawsuit against him and Fox.
Yeah, he should. So
Sanchez
Sanchez can pay him, and then the NFL can get rid of Sanchez and put him on.
Well, that's going to happen. I mean, he's already lost his job.
Yeah,
they're just, wait for him to get out of the hospital. Oh,
you think he got a concussion from that butt fumble thing?
Oh my!
He got the concussion from the.
I mean, first it was, that he'd been stabbed, like he had gotten into a mugging or something, and then as time went on, the rest came. I was like, what? But I guess he was like hammered.
Yeah, but still,
at some point you got to like check yourself.
Is a business trip, and he obviously didn't do it. So good luck, Mark Sanchez.
Well, my thing looking at it is you're still trying to exercise like you're still in the NFL, stay in shape, and you're in an alleyway. I don't give a fudge how hammered you are. When you see a truck of a 9-to-5 guy coming, you can take a break versus trying to pick a fight with the guy in the truck, because that's all it was. He was drunk. He wanted to pick a fight. He thought he could beat him up. He didn't know the guy had a knife. And now all of a sudden,
he's in the hospital.
The guy's 69 years old.
Yeah.
69 years old, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that. That one caught me. I'm like, I don't even know what to make of that one. But hey, people.
Hopefully he saved his money.
Yep.
Well,
so today we're going to talk about something it's been a popular thing. I think it's been around for a while, but it's been very prevalent in this administration that we're in, the Trump administration particularly, but and most recent administrations because of the the polarity between the parties. But it's executive orders, and executive orders, whether we think it's democracy or we think it's now becoming an abuse of power or something else. And I want to kind of lay the foundation for you. I think executive orders are an order from the president, but it's not law, but it is something that a tool they can use to enforce their policies. It's not vetted in the U.S. Constitution, but is a derivative from Article 2 of the Constitution, which talks about take care of the laws and faithfully fulfill, the duties of the law. And so that's where we start. It's like, okay, now for years we have presidential changes. That's the kind of the concept of democracy. Article 2 say there you're going to uphold the, faithfully execute the laws of the land. And now executive orders are a tool for you to quickly implement your policies. But the only checks are really the Congress or the courts, or then the successor administration. So now we've got Mr. Trump, and he's been in office for 10 months, and he's written over 200 executive orders, which is an all-time pace. Just your initial reaction to what do you think the concept of executive orders? Should it be something they do, or when does it become abusive? And anybody can jump in if you want to.
I mean, the first president to sign executive order was George Washington. That's how far back it goes. But, then you had, who was it, Truman, over 3,700. A lot of that was
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, a lot for
Yeah.
World War II and the Depression. But, after that, just looking at numbers, Nixon had 346, Reagan 381, Clinton 364, Biden only had 160.
But those are over like an 8-year period, right?
Well, Biden's only 4 years.
And his was only 160.
Trump, his first term was 220.
Yeah.
Obama was 277. That was over 8 years. Bush 291. He was more over 8 years. So I think a lot of those get written early on, and this is the part that I don't like about it. As soon as a new president's sworn in, they come into office, they do all the traditional stuff, then they go and they sit down, and they've got this massive stack of executive orders, basically canceling out the previous president's executive orders.
Yeah.
Okay, cancel all those out, and here's all mine. And every administration does it. It's not unique to any one party. They all do it. That's the part it's like, okay. So everyone gets to start over.
Yeah, Nando, give me your initial impression. What's your belief about executive?
Well, it's to me, I think it's different because this gentleman was there a while back. Then he got eliminated and now he's back again. So to me, it seems like he's trying to make up for what he didn't get to finish the first time that he did it. And I think for him, it's not really out of control because right now he's saying, as Cub said, 1, let's remove all the stuff that my predecessors have done. 2, this is stuff that I want to implement today. And 3, this is the stuff I wanted to implement the last time I was here and I didn't get a chance. So I think we're dealing with an individual who's trying to play catch up. That's why there's so many. Hopefully it starts to slow down, that he's using it. I know. I just hope that it starts to slow down, that he uses it for what it's for. But right now, I don't see it. He's playing with a 3-card deck and he's trying to catch up.
Yeah.
He wrote 26 on his first day this year. Biden did 9. Trump in his first day did 1. Obama did 2. Then a lot of the other ones were zeros going all the way back to Nixon. So I think to your base, you're trying to be aggressive, hit the ground running, so to speak.
Yep.
And I don't know. I think whoever the next president is, if he's of the opposing party, there's probably going to be a ton that's going to happen then as well.
But, I hear what you're saying. That's all nice and good. Everybody gets to implement their plan. But I think it's a bigger thing, a bigger concept is that it's a reflective of the divisiveness of our country. You said you started with George Washington. He did 8. They didn't start really getting up there until who was that? Theodore Roosevelt. And then there was Woodrow Wilson. They wrote about 1,000. And then all of a sudden you start to see the divide between the country. And no longer, if you track it at the beginning, they're doing 8, 1, 2, 3. That's because they're building something. Now we're just dividing each other. We're just canceling out each other. And now we're not even progressing. We're just canceling out what the next person is doing. And so that's where I'm saying we've talked about it a lot on our previous podcast. It's like maybe we need to relook at this thing because now, we're not getting anything done. If the only checks and balances are the court and Congress and the previous or the successor administration, we're not getting anywhere. This Congress, I blame a lot of it on them. I think they're inept. I don't think they do anything. But put on a good show. Every time you see, like even today, we were watching. At least I was watching. Like, we're going to do oversight over the Department of Justice or oversight over this, or it's just a show. It's not even questions. They like make statements, and then a person's supposed to kind of react. But I get my time back. I'm gonna say. So I think the Congress is to blame for why we have so many executive orders. Because when I was watching Schoolhouse Rock, I always thought, hey, a bill is a bill, and now it's
I'm
like
just a
a
bill.
bill ain't nothing. Like you got, it's like executive orders. We should do a
Well, but they're
Schoolhouse
not
Rock on
law.
executive orders.
But the EOs are not law.
What's that?
They're not law. The executive orders are not law.
They're not, but they are things that achieve a lot of
They're directing their department heads on how they want the government to be run, how to implement policies, and so on.
What
Not everybody's going to like them. Some
I
you
disagree
like,
with
some
you.
you
I'm gonna
don't like.
challenge you on this because of a lot of the executive orders in history, Emancipation Proclamation, executive order, or was it the Manhattan Project, incarceration of the Japanese, internment camps, executive orders, civil rights, the equal employment for government contractors, executive orders. So these things are important, and they change the course of law. But if you just start whatever, I'm putting an executive order because he didn't put no freaking ketchup on my hamburger, all that kind of shit. I'm like, to be honest, that's where we're getting away from. Like, there's some important things that can be done, not this silly crap that happens in all administrations, but now particularly in this administration. To me. Any reactions before?
Well, I mean, the one for Lincoln was the order to declare, enslaved people in Confederate states to be free. That was before, you had the amendment get passed. So, some of those are precursor to what they want to see coming as far as changes on the law books. Not all of them do. Some of them are just with how they want to structure their government. But, I don't necessarily disagree. Some of it is aggressive, like, in his first term with the what was called the Muslim ban was found to be, hey, but now they've learned how to write them better. They got better lawyers because the lawyers the last time, it'd be like me scribbling something. It's like, here you go. Here's an executive order. And it got shot down in the court system pretty fast. Now they seem to be writing them, even though they're getting challenged. Some of that stuff is holding up. So they're written better. So they do hold up when they're challenged.
Go ahead.
I'm a little astonished because you guys mentioned the number of what Trump has signed executive orders. So I looked it up. And have you guys looked at the list?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Unlocking cures for pediatric cancer with artificial intelligence. Here's another one that's saving TikTok while protecting national security. Assuming
That's
the security of the state of Qatar.
What does that have to do anything?
This is what I'm talking about. Further extending the TikTok enforcement delay. Here's one. Do not comment for 5 seconds after I read this. Establishing an emergency board to investigate disputes between the Long Island Railroad Company and certain of its employees represented by certain labor organizations. Wait 5 seconds. Go ahead.
Exactly. I mean, what are we doing? We're going to write an executive order for everything. I think they should be written for something that's important. Whether you say, you put in the National Guard and describe Chicago as this or describe whatever. I mean, compared to the National Guard of Arkansas was executive order to protect the young ladies who were trying to integrate the schools in Arkansas. I get that. When you're starting to create stuff to write an executive order, and now the courts, the only last bastion of hope for citizens is the courts, because Congress, I'm sorry, weak sauce. There's a lot of weak sauce going up in there. They ain't doing nothing. But okay, yes. So the only thing I would say, you read them. I'm not saying that the executive orders should be totally disbanded, but they should be limited a little bit. I'm almost like, in a legal case, like a voir dire, you only get 12 a year or something. Like you only get so
but then
many a year.
you're limiting presidential powers, and you're opening up a big can of worms.
But what's the balance, though? What's the balance of power?
I know, but if you're going to limit it, then something big and heavy comes on down the road. Well, but Mr. President, you used up your 12, so nothing you can do about it. We'll just watch the world burn.
Stop. I'm asking Congress to do their job. I'm asking all of them to do their damn job. How about that?
All right.
Well,
You
there's nothing
guys
wrong.
wanted it,
There's nothing
so I'm
wrong
gonna
with that.
bring it up
There's
again.
nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But
You are
you're
thinking.
talk.
Okay.
You sound a little biased. That I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm just saying that every president uses them. At the beginning, I talked about they all start with canceling out within the first couple of weeks all the previous presidents' executive orders, and then writing their own.
And that's fine. I get it.
Whether you now is that abuse? If a Democrat president comes in and rescinds all the Republicans ones, is that abuse?
Yeah.
Is it only abuse when the Republican president does it to a previous Democratic
I don't
president?
say that. I just think I want a country building. Let's build a country of all ideals, not just one ideal, and swing it back to the other side, and now swing it back to the other side. And I hope we win and we swing it back to the other side. We're not progressing. We're not. We're falling behind, chasing each other around in circles. That's what I feel like.
Mr. Buffett said, "You want to get our Congress, our House people in order, tie everything to their paycheck.
Yes.
If they are not in session voting, they don't get a paycheck. If they're
right.
not passing bills or working up, they don't get a paycheck. And I bet you any amount of money, our conversation about this right now would not be going this far to the left if we start holding them accountable. Now I'm moving in another direction as a voter. There's a lot of people that you may talk to that don't think their vote counts. And the people that actually vote, we're not holding our individuals accountable for what we want them to consider. They're going against the norm. They're going against the wave. As long as their paycheck is there, they'll worry about everything else. I think it's another issue we should consider talking about is our voting rights and how to hold these individuals that are representing our state, that's representing our section. How do we hold them accountable that they're still working for us and not working for, what do you say, the norm of going with the wave?
Yeah. And that's a great point. Like I said, for me, I mean, I get I'm only partially harping on the current administration because it's just the big swings. Like, why do we have to take such big swings? Why can't we build something as a country? Then they act like, well, we don't build anything. Let's do something drastic. Like, we don't have to do something drastic. If we're the greatest country in the world and everybody claims to be, then why do we have to take big swings left and right? And I'm asking you, like, there's people, like you said, people are in position of power to talk to each other and do something. When you start just acquiescing and giving away your power and you don't want to do anything because I want to hold a party line, either left or right, it just bothers me. And that's why we have these numbers going from 8 executive orders from Washington to Trump's 208 in 10 months. That's a problem. It's not reflected necessarily on the president. It's reflective on the Congress.
Part of that, I think, is like used car salesmen showboating. Look, I signed another one. Like, we're doing stuff. They're
Right.
They're kind of showing their base. Hey, look at how busy this guy is. He's doing all these executive. You got all this stuff going on. He's working hard, and a lot of it, some of it is just fluff. Some of it's like what you were reading, Nando, and some of it's just crap. So, I wouldn't necessarily get caught up on the numbers. It's more the substance that's in them. Out of that number you threw out there in the first 10 months, there might be 25 or 30 of them that are kind of scary. The other ones are just a bunch of, pandering to the base.
And I would tell people who are listening, long story short, just understand what's going on. If you can sit here and binge watch your shows on Netflix, you can sit here for 10 to 15 minutes to figure out what are we voting on, what are they voting on, what direction they're going. That's all we're asking is 10 to 15 minutes. That's what this discussion is about, and understand and know. You may not be able to do anything about it, but at least just understand. Just educate yourself and call it a day.
How about they do an executive order that Congress doesn't get paid when there's a government shutdown?
Thank you.
And let that get challenged in the court.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Those pricks are getting paid when no one else is. And you see what's going on with all the the air traffic control situation where everyone's getting backed up and all
Yep.
this nonsense. How about an executive order? That would be an
When they don't
executive
do their
order.
job.
You
Yeah.
do have to go back to work. We need full staff. Make
Yes.
sure everyone's going to get paid and back paid and overtime, whatever you're supposed to get. But for the safety of travelers, there's an executive order that should be written. Get your ass back to work.
That is happening out here in Los Angeles, where the
I should
Burbank
see
Airport.
Denver, dude. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Crazy.
Denver
It's
is similar
everywhere.
to Burbank. Yeah.
Burbank
Yeah.
Airport went without people in the tower for like 40 minutes or some crazy number. No one
Yeah.
in the tower.
Yeah.
Write an executive order for that one.
I guess for me, and I'll harp on it, and I'm sure we'll get comments. Please get your comments. We try to respond to as much as we can. Let's get back to the concept of statesmen. Let's do your job as Congress people. Then everything doesn't have to be battled in the court. I know there's executive orders and whatever, but those are the only balance that we have. And if we only have one arm, Congress is doing nothing, and then just the courts. How much money are we actually spending in the courts? Just no one comes up that number. I want to investigate that number. How many litigation cases are there just trying to define what the rules are, rules of engagement? Because I can write an executive order. I can write an executive order for this, that, and the other, both sides. And then we got to litigate it in court. What about the lawmaking branch of government? Why do we always got to just rely on the courts and executive orders? I'm just coming down.
I mean, it's true. It's always about the dollars. Government lawyers that work for the government, they're already getting paid, whether they go to court or they're sitting they're getting paid the same amount of money, right?
But it's not
For
them.
the most
It's the
part.
opposite.
Okay.
It's the people who are going out there trying to sue. Like, I don't know if you were going this way, but we were going in another direction talking about ambulance chasers. There's always a lawyer that's willing to go and sue just to be sue happy. Those are the individuals that are clogging up our systems just to try to get something. Well, I can't get $1 million, but I can get 100,000 and that'll keep me going until my next case. Right.
Well,
And
when was it that law changed that permitted attorneys to advertise on television? Because remember before they couldn't.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. But I think that, you're saying, all the government lawyers get paid. You don't think they're consulting with outside law firms? You don't think we're paying experts and, to get their opinions? It's just not
You mean the lobbyist lawyers?
Attorney. Well, it's going to be,
lawyers?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Let's keep an eye on it. It's like, let's be statesmen, be statespeople rather. And I think we fell off. We're just going to our camps, and I just don't like it. That's why I kind of brought it up today. I don't think it's going to change anything, but I just want the balance of power to get back into effect. Those people that have the ability to do checks and balances, use your checks, use your balances. The rest of it, I understand. Executive orders, you're going to try to implement your administration's plan, but damn, can we get some checks and balances up in this piece?
Well, it's not any different from any other administration when they have full control of Congress. White House, Senate, and the House of Representatives. Everything gets shoved down your throat, whether you like it or not. And the other party, when they come back into power...
Why do we have representatives? Why don't, and I don't hate to say it, then why would just have a fucking person that's like in charge of everything, and we'll just say, yes.
Well, we're headed there.
Thank you.
Well, but
that's why I don't want
it's not. It's not president.
Not saying that.
When Obama came in, they had full control of Congress. What did you get out of it? You got the ACA, amongst other things. But that was the big ticket number when they did it while they could. And now Trump each time has been tax policy, tax reform, and tax reform again. That's the only thing they can hang their head on. Well, we reformed tax. You gave your rich buddies a tax break again. So it's hard to blame anyone when they're all on the same field playing the same game. It just depends who's got the better quarterback.
No, I'm not saying that I'm not in the blame game, but I'm not also a victim. Administrations aren't victim, and I'm not blaming them on certain things. I just blame, we are not effectively using the structures that everybody claims that they love so much the democracy and the Constitution, not using it at all. Use the freaking Constitution. Use your powers that you were given in the Constitution. Stop playing these little, oh, I'm a victim. They hate us. They hate us.
But if you're in the minority, what are you going to do? You're
Just do your
powerless.
constitutional duty. You just do what they're
I
doing.
got 100 votes to 80. I did my
Okay.
80. That's as far as I can go. What did
That's
it
all you
amount
can
to?
do.
It didn't amount to jack because you don't have the numbers.
But that's fine. But I just think as long as you're trying to do your duty, but I think it's not just on the majority. Why do everybody have to vote the same? Why do everyone have to vote the same? If I'm a representative of the state that you live in, and I'm a Republican, and 80 to 90% of my policies agree with your Republican or whatever, why do I have to vote 99% in the same direction? That's what I'm saying.
Because if you want the party to
statesmen.
support you in your reelection, you're gonna.
So the reelection is the only thing, the game that matters. Then.
That's exactly right. It's the only thing that matters.
Play that music. Hit that music again.
Well, yeah, no, in a second,
It literally is the only thing that matters is getting reelected. And if you don't, if you want to like be a maverick, right? You want to play that role. Well, guess what? Your other, let's just call it a Democrat. You're not going to toe the company line. Well, we're going to throw all of our resources to this other Democrat that's going to run against you, and you're going to be out.
But then isn't that your life choices?
So
life
the
choices.
answer,
you chose to do the job the best you can. You don't do the job to just freaking cheat the system.
But what I'm saying is the only way to get to where you want to go is term limits. It's the only thing that's going to fix the system. But no one's going to,
like you said, pay per performance.
Yeah, no one's going to vote to end their job.
Here's
That's
another
how we
one.
get there.
When you guys were talking about it, another thing is they can pass these laws until it affects them. And you guys are going to be like, okay, what does that mean?
That's right.
Our favorite rep, Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia, has broke with her party Monday evening by calling for an action for expiring Obamacare. And I won't read this whole thing because I want our listeners to go look.
I saw it.
Because why?
I want more of that. I would like more of that.
Her family. It's affecting her family. And she said, because when the tax credit expires, my own adults' children's insurance premiums are going to double, along with all wonderful families and hardworking people in my district. That's not what you were saying. The past 4 years, you wanted to get rid of it, but now that it affects your family, this isn't going to work. So I'm just tagging along with what both of you guys had brought up.
But there's not enough of that.
Please. More of that, please, on both sides. More of that, please.
There's just not enough of it. But it's a good point.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. It's a good point, but there's not enough of that going on.
No, not enough.
And so, in some, I think I've pontificated a lot and spoken a lot on things, and I'm like, I still think executive orders are fine. Let's be reasonable. Let's get back to checks and balances, statehood, and be rational. Let's not be so swing, on a seesaw every time there's an administration change.
Doesn't get you elected.
I don't think our system's going to handle it. I don't. And that's my warning.
It doesn't get you reelected, being rational. That's all it's about. It's the only thing it's about.
That's all I'm going to say is terms.
So, all right. Well, this was a fiery conversation. I hope everybody subscribe, give us comments because we love it. We're going to shout out to our guy Mike. Thank you for the long comments and a few people on some other episodes. We like it. We like the banter. I'm old school. Yeah, I might say I'm a little left leaning, maybe, but try to stay in the middle. So anybody to take us away? Y'all good? All right. Remember. There it is. For the love of money. That's this week's episode, Brothers Crossing. Remember, look left, look right. Your brothers crossing. We're coming to you. Night.
See you guys.
Night. See ya.